Welcome back, everyone. Today is the day we're finally going to start chopping away on this bird. Literally, the time has come where it's time to start cutting off some of this old sheet metal and moving forward to replacing everything now. You guys tuned in on the last one. I did a quick little firewall patch right there. As you can see, I think it turned out pretty good. I got to do a little hammer and dolly work on it. I still have to go on the back side and dress the welds from the other end. But I'll do that when I do the toe boards and the torque boxes. Since the last video, I went and I literally acquired a entire front cutoff section from about 12 inches up on the A pillar down. And the reason I got that, well, simply I bought it for this side here. So I have a patch panel for this, and they just told me to take the whole thing. Well, it was pretty much chopped up, like this whole section. I didn't cut that out. It was already gone. But I went through and I was stripping it. I got the dash panel here. I took it out nicely because it's a good piece. I'm not going to use it, but I didn't want to destroy it because, well, someone else might need it, or maybe further down the line, I might need it. I already have another one that I got for this car, and the same goes for the upper dash. As you can see, this thing is in pretty good shape. So you get over here, needs a small patch right there, and they kind of just pried the vent out and they, dented it, so it needs a little hammer and dolly work right here, but that's nothing. This piece is definitely savable and usable, so I didn't destroy it. I saved it, but on the same note, I already have another one that I had bought for this car. I wish I would have knew that beforehand. This thing has a nice torque box on it too. I'm going to save that. But that's the A pillar I'm going to need. But I don't want to cut on that yet because I want to start extracting here. Get this out. And I want to know if I got to get into the actual hinge area or not. I'm hoping to just drill the welds here. Weld my patch in. It's only going to come up about 12 inches. But I have the other side right there. And I'm hoping to just chop it, flip it, and then do the top portion. Then we'll make this channel across the top. But for now, I want to focus on this A pillar, the dash panel, the cowl. I already took some measurements. I got them all written down in my little notebook right there. And I took some precautions and I put some paper over my door to protect my quarter glass and door glass. If you guys don't know, this bird has bird glass in it, which is pretty rare. It came on the early production models only, so I definitely don't want to ruin that with the sparks from grinding. Now, my plan of attack here is simple. This is completely shot. Let's get this out of the way. As you can see here, my dash panel is completely shot. There's no point in trying to save it, patch it, whatever. So that is wasting time drilling out every spot weld. I'm just going to get a grinder and just grind every single one and just get it off of there. Now, as for the dash panel, I got one. Mine isn't too bad. It can easily be repaired. But when I went and I bought the upper dash used on Marketplace, I got it with an entire front dash. And altogether, I literally paid $140. So I wasn't complaining. But the main reason I did it is right there. You can see there's a hole. I could have patched that, but I got such a good deal on it that I didn't pass up. But turns out I have a good rot hole right there that was hiding behind the dash panel. And the other side does have some surface rust. I haven't checked to see how soft it is, but like I said, I have another one. But I went around, I took measurements, lengthwise, from the firewall to the edges here, height wise, etc., to make sure that I get that in the proper location when it comes time. But the first step that we're going to take is I'm going to get this off. Well, first I'm going to brace it. I got some tubing there. I'm going to do a little X brace across the front because I'm going to brace it, cut this off. Then we're going to start working on getting the upper cowl off. Then I can address this corner here and then get that lower piece done. And then when that's done, I'll probably move along, get the dash, get the cowl welded in. Then I'm going to have to remove my bracing because it's probably going to be welded up here and then drop it down. Or actually, I can probably eliminate it at that point because I'll put the structure back in once this is in, because pretty much I'm cutting everything out. The upper dash, the dash face, and the cowl assembly are all going to go. So the only thing holding this together width-wise would be the thin firewall and what's left of my floor, which isn't much. So, and for the cowl extensions, I have a brand new one right there. I have new ones for both sides, but there is the one off of that front end was pretty decent. You see here, this is it's the driver's side front cowl face right here, this area. That's what was left of how they cut it. Took this one off because I'm going to use the lower patch to patch mine. But this one right here is actually pretty decent. Now, obviously, it needs some patchwork, but it's not bad at all. I can fix that. Now, the question is, do I want to put the time in? Because, I mean, if I do, the distributor that I bought my sheet metal from told me that whatever sheet metal I don't use, I can bring back in exchange for more parts. So that, a few extra dollars I'll get back to use somewhere else on the project. Unfortunately, I can't do that with the dash panel since I bought that on Marketplace. If not, I would be repairing that one and using it. So pretty much, let's get this thing braced up and let's start chopping away. I'm simply just going to do a X brace right across the windshield channel from the A-pillar to the rocker to the inner rocker. Nothing fancy, just a couple tacks, just for peace of mind. As you guys can see, that didn't take quite long at all. Now, sure, maybe I'll go to pop some of these and they won't pop out and I got to retouch them up, but it's definitely faster than drilling. Now, if you look here, the original upper dash has these little tabs that weld to the A-pillar. So I got to cut that. My blade is a little too dull and it won't reach in there. I might have to switch to the actual angle grinder. There's a spot weld right there as well. I can't get in with that. I can get in with my 3-inch wheel. But I did pick up this corded belt sander. I'm going to give this a shot right now and see how it works out. So, you can see the rust inhibitor didn't work too well up towards the top. Sure, you can see that hole right there in the lower cowl. Possible patch right there. Well, not possible. Definitely small patch, but this section is good. Does seem solid. I'll obviously give it a check off camera. And if it's good, we're just going to make a patch for this lower half. And then we'll clean this up inside real nice. Use some OSFO, let it sit for 24 hours, put a nice little coat of epoxy in there, and we'll seal it back up. So now we're just going to repeat the process on this side. And we'll get this upper cowl. Like I said, I'm probably not going to record myself drilling out all these spot welds because there's like 300,000 right there. So I went ahead and I got the other cowl panel out. It looks a lot better inside. I did make a hole, well, a couple holes in this flange, but that's no big deal. We can hammer that out and then fill it in with the weld. Or when I put the new panel on, I could always weld from this side too. Well, as you can see, cowl panel is out. I'm sorry guys, the camera died, but you didn't miss much. It was just me fighting with all the spot welds that were in here, grinding away, and up here just chiseling them out. So I got my upper and lower there. Local distributor didn't have an assembled unit, but he had the top and bottom separately, so I told him it didn't matter. I'll take it. But as you can see, we are pretty much ready to start replacing some metal on this. Now I do got to do some prep work, some cleaning. I still do got to remove the dash face, and I'm pretty much probably not going to record it, but all I need to do is I'm going to drill out these spot welds on the top of these brackets because the donor piece that I got was cut right here. So I need to save these brackets, and it should drop right out. On the next video, I'm probably going to get into this pillar patch right here. We're going to be patching this up. I got to peel this away. I might even just start digging into it and seeing what we need, and then I'll show you guys the process of removing it on the donor panel. And once those patches are done, got a lot of wire wheeling to do. Got to clean all this. Gonna treat it with some phosphate. Then we're gonna put some primer, just because it's easy to get to right now. I don't have to crawl under the dash to prep it. Just a quick rust treatment and then some epoxy primer out of a rattle can. Once again, as always, thank you for watching, and I appreciate all of you. The next video, as said, I'm probably going to be working on that A pillar. We're going to get that patched up. I take care of that patch in the inner cowl over there, and then start fitting the lower cowl. Now, before I weld that all in, as I said, I'm going to do some rust treatment and some primer work just while it's easy. And yeah, we're going to get that cowl welded in. And once that's done, I think it'd be time to get this thing up in the air, get the rear end out, and start moving on to the floor, toe boards and torque boxes. But again, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.